going forward. You know, it really looks bad. Obviously, this is not, I'm not speaking for Vic, but it probably looks a whole lot worse on the core 4 if they don't improve or impress and kind of pay back this Shopify Rebellion who have put them on, like you said, Bach, when nothing was happening, right? I think they have a big chip on their shoulder to kind of pay it back to this organization that was so good to them, because we've seen, I'm not naming any names or pointing, I'm not pointing any fingers or anything like that, but we've seen some orgs kind of just pull the plug, and Shopify didn't do that. So super cool of them, and I would imagine their players do. At the top of their list is, hey, let's pay these guys back to that.
Yeah, we've seen some teams do the classic "we'll be back in 6 months" maneuver. So, I mean, obviously, you want to love what they're doing on the side of Shopify to just keep that team supported. It is important to note, though, these are all, you know, big question marks in our head. Like, is this really going to happen? This is still a difficult opponent. You can say everything you want to say about Oxygen Esports, the experience level that they bring to the table, the fact that Shopify has been inconsistent in the past, the fact that they do have maybe a little bit more pressure on their shoulders. But the point remains, VCT team, not VCT team. Team who has tons of experience playing at a high level, and maybe, it wasn't perfect all the time, but it was still the experience there, versus a team who is a collective of players who have high-level experience. And some of that experience wasn't even the highest of the high. So while we're trying to obviously build out the storyline that this is possible here, Dryad, I'm looking at this Oxygen team and I'm thinking there's still a world where this is a brutal 2-0, because Shopify did look good in their opening series, and that could be a potential storyline for the season, that this Shopify team has finally found the consistency that they could not find last season.
And I want to say, though, for the 2 matches that we have today, the one that I expect to be a little bit closer is gotta be this one, right? And we talked about it a bunch, right? Oxygen, they have a lot of potential, and they already proved some of the things that they're capable of doing is just managing those expectations and being able to take round after round. And that is one for them last week, but I feel like at least an offset is possible, taking those rounds and doing the same thing on something. The Oxygen is absolutely looking forward to doing it, and I definitely believe in them.
But Dryad, we get Brimdog for map 1. The B in B-Dog stands for Brimdog, and that's what we get in map 1. I think that is kind of set us apart and really get things going for Shopify.
Well, let's see if we are going to get that Brimdog, because I've been told the Agent Select is ready, which means it's time to jump into the series. Shopify Rebellion looking to get a 2-0 to start out their Challenger season. Oxygen just looking to get a win on the board. It's all yours.
Thank you, Bach. Yes, Dryad, Brimdog. Quite possibly. Maybe. Should be. It should be Brimdog.
Yes,
it was Brimdog last week.
It was, and it worked out so well for the side of Shopify. It is a place that we're looking at in that early show of the expectations is that he got with so much potential to do it once again, starting on the attacking side. Everything should be looking fairly similar for them, though I do see actually a Sage that is going to
riggedy. Right. Let's get down. Let's do it. My bad, y'all. My bad.
From Oxygen, Dryad. Did you have this in your notes at all?
We're a little late, cutting it close. I know.
Look, we only saw Bind
I've been
from
fucking busy as shit today. Hopefully everyone's doing good,
and
feeling
Oxygen,
good.
they feel a little creative.
I had like a tentative call.
Is this gonna work out? Is this gonna work out?
All right, let's see if we can get
Not
this.
this at all. I thought we were robbed of the Yoru and Breeze went away, but Mitch is gonna be rocking the Yoru.
Try and see
And
if we can get
if
good
Mitch is doing
volume
Mitch things, I would
differences
imagine
here.
he's
Looks like we
pulling
probably had a pretty
as
good level
well
there.
From that Yoru position, Dryad.
Hopefully everyone's
This is
doing good,
crazy. I
man.
was looking at
Appreciate
Shopify.
everyone
I was
coming
like,
in,
oh,
hanging
yeah,
out.
there's a Sage.
Hopefully everyone's having a
There
good
was a Sage, and then you tell me
Wednesday.
look at Oxygen for a second.
Midweek here.
What is going on? So they're gonna bring the Yoru. We were questioning if it was gonna happen, right? Because we got to see it on Breeze, but now it's a double duelist composition, and you can expect a lot of running it down for the team, and it's on the defensive side, right? They won and match the aggression that Shopify gave to the enemy team last week.
Yeah, and it's all aggression here. Pony quick.
So Shopify starting off
short into the spawn,
on the attacking side.
Takes that teleport. He still has, well, a teleport of his own to get back towards that B side, and nobody's
Pistols
been
round
spotted.
here.
Shopify like to play this pistol round slow. And that's exactly where we've started here on Bind.
And I like these kind
Like
of
this
creative
corner by
ideas for
Pony.
Oxygen is some of the things that you need to keep an eye on to potentially bring an upside to the side of Shopify. But is it really going to happen? Some early contact Nobody taken down,
Pony
but
goes down
Pony,
early.
first one down.
Yeah, and Shopify played that so beautifully. I don't
They
know
played
if they
that
were
really,
in
really well.
audible range of the teleport, but knowing that somebody teleports out towards A, you assume that it's the Yoru, and then you go back and fight the one player in Pony. He was completely surrounded, and now this angle
Now,
goes
the question is, do they
unchecked
expect Savage?
too many times, but it looks like Dazzle
Oh,
hit to this one.
no,
he was
Savage
away
hit
for a
him with
second,
the
and Randy Savage
double.
collects
Oh,
2
my
kills for
goodness.
himself,
Not
so he
like
gets back the
this,
life that he lost,
brother.
and his teammate Pony,
Oh, that
unfortunately,
hurts
pays
so
for it with his own.
much.
But look at where Oxygen are at, Dryad. They're behind Shopify.
And they just repositioning after repositioning for this defensive side, but
That's
finally
tough,
Shopify
man.
has made it all the way into this B side. Spike is going to be planted. It's a 3v3. Some heavy damage, though. Other side of Oxygen had to take for that crossfire this Kuba wanted to do with Randy Savage.
And looking at this round, Vic still has the barrier orb. He's just so far away from being able to use it. So I guess when you look at it, you save 400 credits on the round. It's sad, though, because of how strong that piece of utility is here in the pistol. But Moose might be first to contact. He does spot the head of one. A couple of body shots to send him down. The head of the next, though, as Verno falls and Scuba follows. It's Brimdog to close out the round. And it's Shopify to manage the pistol.
And another pistol round here for the side of Shopify.
I was gonna say they've been sound on the pistol so far this season.
I see the vision, right, for what Oxygen is trying to do with this composition, kind of going for that constant control of the map and doing all those rotations that we got to see into the pistol round. But how many times are you going to be able to replicate it? If Shopify is good at something, it's going to be adapting to the enemy team. They were able to do it last week. We saw them last year do it constantly. So it's a little bit more difficult for Oxygen, though. We do see those stingers once again.
Cat is. We are still in the.
Not again.
It's not even fabled at this point. It is just the Stinger meta. Should be leaving us soon. I'm not gonna be sad to say goodbye. But so I am happy about that.
Yeah. Especially in a round like this, right? And specifically with the composition that Oxygen is running, you're expecting the Stingers to give you more results. You can go with the fast lane, you can get a little bit closer with Pony. Mitch is gonna be able to do exactly the same. But in the meantime, that's
When do you think the changes come to the Stinger?
Shopify, they have all
Is the real
all
question,
side
right? Ooh.
Yeah, even control
Moose
off
gets one.
the site, right? Here's
Nice.
Moose. Finds one of 3.
Two?
He's expecting more. Yes, he is, but not the third. So Mitch able to
Hey, still good
capitalize
with
on
the
that,
2, though.
catch Moose off guard, and find himself an upgrade. I think now, though, it's quite possibly just the exit game. We'll see how much they want to invest into this one. Relay bolts are out, and they're just going to hang on to what they've got, Dryad.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's smart. Mitch has already been able to upgrade his
And even
rifle,
then,
right?
I'm wondering as well if Shopify was expecting this kind of aggressive composition from the set of Oxygen, knowing that they went from Vic playing that KO to playing that Sage, right? And if someone can stop and slow down that Neon, and that Yoru is gotta be that Sage, and being so effective at doing so, it's something that you have to keep an eye on for the future rounds. Because the KO, last week, it was working so well. The KO knife and the Viper wall were always going on that A site, and always being so effective at keeping Oxygen or keeping the enemy team just so aware of what could be going on. And I feel like for Oxygen, it's going to be the same case, the slow down, the trying to get map
I think it's
control, and
Shopify
potentially it
rebellion,
being
and I think
denied
Guard takes the second. I think
because
Guard's second game in it, right?
Shopify are just ready for anything.
Oh, and
I
so now
ask, I
how do we
don't know
feel
what my
in
thumbnail
this
looks
round?
like. I
Obviously,
didn't make it just
more
5 minutes ago.
anti-ecos.
Smiles.
Mitch gets aggressive early once more, has that teleport of his own, gate crash to make his way to safety. 4 players are just around the corner, and the Trailblazer actually expended. And unfortunately, that first rifle is the only rifle. Now down on the side of Oxygen, Verno with util in hand.
You think
He's
they
gonna be
pull
safe
this
for
back
now.
to A, or do they
The
just
Shopify back
wait
away,
a
but
second?
We've got a Viper's Pit, right? If Moose gets on a site, he's able to plop that down. But are we confident in the pit when Oxygen have stingers?
Poison's off.
Yeah, ideally you want to see those Viper pit potentially for
I
that
mean,
next round.
So you still have 60 seconds here.
Just,
I
you
think
look
you
at
just
positioning
re-push
here
back
for
into
Shopify,
B,
even though
honestly.
they were so good at
Right?
being aggressive. And last week, every time they were going for that B long control, it was gonna end up into the A site entry.
Ooh.
If it was an A site, everybody was going in right away. So you see the hesitation, you see the default that ends up happening early on, and you gotta be respectful
Oh
of a gun
no!
like this one, and that is exactly why.
Okay,
And
well,
the best thing about
they at
Shopify
least get
is
side
they're playing the
access.
Stinger meta, or the start of the Stinger meta in bind or on bind, very well, right? They're not
Ooh,
allowing
nice
anybody to
lineup
go
on
a
the
solo mission where a
snake
gun
bite.
can be collected, except for Moose, who was lurking in that round previous. But they are kind of playing this hand-in-hand play style, like Otter's kind of floating through the river, in making sure that they are going to find that trade. Now, this obviously a bit harder to deal with. Everybody has to back away from the aftershock, but a good incendiary down will make sure that that U-Haul push will be delayed for now. And
Easy turn for Moose.
oh,
Oh,
what's this guy
I thought
doing?
Moose was about to get the double on the turn there.
And he gets absolutely punished for it. A rifle in the hands of
Okay,
Scuba
Moose.
is hopefully for Oxygen.
He's probably just gonna back
rifle
down
that
here to
will
save,
stay
right?
in the hands of Scuba, and it does look like that's the call. Shopify look to go on the hunt.
Smart call.
The Viper spit.
Not
gets
the most
to
fun
live
call, but it
for
is the
another
smart
round
call.
here.
It's the right call.
Other side of Shopify, yes. They're gonna make it to 3 rounds, trying to save that rifle. Not gonna be the case for Scuba. Wait, wait.
Did he
Just
die?
Jumping, trying to get it.
All
At
a
least,
part of the plan.
at least let him get it.
Yes, all a part of the plan from Scuba.
I mean,
Calculated.
still, yeah, absolutely. It's still though. I want to see that full aggression coming through. Now that Oxygen have those Vandals to match with that composition, how can they make them work out? Right? We saw some ideas on that pistol round, and after that, it was the Shopify being so patient, actually waiting, and like you said, right, going for those trades over and over again.
Backs down in time.
And something that I've noticed with Shopify too is they're not afraid to float anybody, right? There's not necessarily a dedicated lurker on this team. Sometimes
Look at
it's
how
Moose,
much
sometimes
noise
it's
they're
Mata. Now,
making,
right,
but
in
the
this round,
spike's
Moose
still
and Vic
lined up
are
on
gonna be
B.
working hand in hand out towards A, but there's
Yeah.
so much faith in kind of just the individual performance that anybody can just be solo on an opposite side of the map and get some type of value. This time, however,
Does Pony push up, do you
I mean,
think?
that Neon runs fast, and Shopify Dryad, they're ready for the Neon to run fast right into him.
A high-low, completely expecting this aggression to come through.
Oh, Pony's disgusting!
And it doesn't even
Wow.
matter. Moose and Vic both go down 21 HP, but it doesn't matter. You already gave all that impact into the round. No way Pony does that.
Oh my
Spike
God.
too.
Yeah, that's Spike too, right? You have 40 seconds. Now you kind of have to assume that the hit is coming this way. Sure, the teleporter can be taken, but you absolutely know that
30
Oxygen going to
seconds
fight
left.
for that. And out towards this A site, 3 defenders here. This is
That was a nice play.
a catastrophe of a round for Shopify.
Not the plan at all. Though they were expecting that aggression. You can never expect Pony to get both of them on the high-low. It's just so,
All right, so they get the
so
spike
unlikely,
down.
but even then, Spike gets planted. 3v5, still doable. Pony, once again, very low on HP.
And Dazzle trying to get aggressive. Oh my God, this is just Pony's
Pony,
round. This is
bro,
Pony's
Scuba,
world.
why you
We're
gotta
just
do
living
him
in it.
like
4
that, bro?
kills. As Scuba caps it off. And Oxygen, like you said, want to get aggressive. They should play aggressive with their... And it wasn't Oxygen, it was just Pony who played aggressive with the rifles and literally stole away the
Just
round.
really good coordination for that retake. And I mean, that early
That
impact
transfer.
for Pony. So clean to get that first round on the side of Oxygen. To put that Neon on the board as well.
They need
And so
that
what else
though,
they have prepared
because
because Shopify is forced to play slow.
Shopify
And
could run away from this if they want
that's
to.
set up what they had.
Or
and
if
you
they
mentioned
let
it,
them,
right?
I should say, not if they
They're
wanted
always
to.
comfortable.
But if they
going
let
into
them, they
different
certainly
positioning. Some
could.
of them trying to get that A control early on, going for that showers control, but still, this time around is only going to be that Viper, and they did it last week. They did it against Total Troop. They would have that Viper, sometimes getting that first pick, expecting the same thing that Oxygen is bringing to them, but now it just feels so much more different.
I like that
Ooh.
Yoru clone. It kind of just stands
can't do
there as
anything with
it's
that.
peeking the angle. Catches Mata off guard. Another flash. Force Mata away. And Dryad, we're still sitting on that Viper's Pit. Moose dying in that last round really stings, especially because they got that spike planted. So a
Slow,
lot of weight
making
on
sure
the,
that
on the
Neon
shoulder.
is not going to be able to do anything crazy again. That's an ultimate here. The overdrive not going to get used, but Scuba waiting for this hit. Essentially, it's 45 seconds once again. It's going to be
Following
50,
the
and the
Seekers
Seeker's
there.
going first. Pony kind of stuck, has to use that fast lane as well to run away.
Wow, they're really investing heavy in.
The defense forced to back up, yeah.
in response too. You used a lot there. If you're Shopify, and sure, orbital strike from Scuba
They'll
is
be
a
able
lot
to come
as
over
well,
next,
but
though.
it stalls. It completely rotates the push, and now Shopify kind of in the scramble, and they don't even clear their angles. Mitch here, hanging out.
Oh, if Mitch would have been able to snap that, that would have been disgusting.
To pick up the pieces for this team, and Moose so far off the side, he drops a pit, and the
Yo,
bodies
Pony's
fall
nasty.
around him as Pony does it again. And with 15 seconds, no defenders on the B site, Moose is headed for the hills.
And having to play so reactive, right, for the side of Shopify, not only expecting that aggression, but also having to go for those quick rotates. As Moose is the last one alive, gets stunned, still doesn't matter. Verno gets taken down, but the time is run out. 3 kills for Moose at the end, but second round here for Oxygen. Looking clean, making Shopify play Oxygen's game.
Who's playing? Is this Shopify Rebellion versus Oxygen, or is this Moose versus Pony?
True,
Moose
though.
is 11-3, Pony 7-3, working the way up. And Pony's been in the last couple of
that's
rifle
the only
rounds, right?
reason
Pony's
that's a
been
game
the
right
guy
now.
who's finding these kills, these multi-kills.
Pony's keeping Oxygen in this right now.
I mean, not that necessarily wins the round, but what is Moose supposed to do as his pit is just slowly creeping its way up onto the site? It's just unwinnable.
Yeah, the A side just gets so much more dangerous when you have Pony trying to fight for the shower's control early on, and the strategies that we saw last week get a little bit more difficult for Shopify without the KO. Again, it was just such a big part of that A execute. Having Vic on this initiator role and having Moose give that support with that wall. Now you just have to play around, and we saw the ultimates coming through, the orbital strike. A delay as well, and it still wasn't enough to shut down Oxygen.
Kind of a mixed buy.
Surprisingly, it's
No?
Oxygen that called that
They're actually
timeout,
gonna
and I like that. I like the
invest up
timeout
heavy.
where, not that the last couple of rounds were
Don't see
easy,
why
but I
you
was just thinking
wouldn't.
about this yesterday as I was VOD reviewing, and you see teams go up, 7-2 or even 9-3 at the half, and
I mean,
it happened at
Shopify
home where
Rebellion's
the game feels a bit easy.
bank
kind
is
of
so
let off the
good,
gas a
right?
little bit,
Like-
not in a way of rounds, because obviously you have a lot of rounds, but just in way of the respect that you're giving your opponents. And so I think Oxygen kind of take this one, figure out what Shopify are doing as they kind of work their way around the map. That's when the Yori util is just so nice. It's just so nice for that. Unfortunately, he's going to get sniffed out. Mitch isn't leaving. I'm not leaving, says Mitch. He's still holding the judge on the angle dryad.
And this is different as well. Shopify never went for that early contest of hookah, or that attempt as well, but like you said, that your utility is so good at denying and making sure that no one is gonna go through, nobody's gonna take that Yoru down. So gonna be that B long, and look at Scuba.
Backs off the angle, smokes come down, Mitch still with the judge, flash comes out, and
Scuba
everybody
starts off.
blinded up. It's Dazzle the first to fall as Scuba grabs
Scuba's
two,
got the
makes it 3 of his
triple.
own. And the defense is locked down here for Oxygen. A timeout did wonders, and now Shopify down to their last 2 and Moose and B-Dog, who
Oxygen really
again,
about
Moose,
to even this up.
11-3 coming into this round, leading the
30
scoreboard
seconds left.
in way of kills for his team. But this is
I'm not gonna lie, the way
there's 4
that
Dryads. I mean, there's 4 Dryads. I mean, there's 4 defenders, Dryad. I am sorry, that is my sick brain not working.
why am I dropping frames?
It's alright, Tanner.
Looks like we're fine now.
2 players here left for the set of Shopify. Once again, time running out. This is the problem. You're expecting that aggression. It doesn't take place the way that you expected.
Sorry about that, chat. I don't know why I was
And out
dropping
of
frames for a
nowhere,
second.
you're trying to rush into
That was
those
weird.
sites with so much util defense has to slow you down, right? You have those stuns, you have the snake bites. You have Scuba as well that was able to get 3 by himself. And everything was being thrown backside, right? We saw the pain shells. We also got to see the slow, the incendiary, everything, and it still wasn't enough. And that is something that could potentially be a problem. We saw the timeout too, and one thing I wanted to say is Oxygen last week, when they had those massive leads for 9-3, they were still asking for those
Bump
timeouts,
this down
having
to
leads,
20
and
for now.
it guaranteed them a
Till
couple
this
extra rounds
stables
right
out.
after. But it's something that you have to keep an eye on. They like to call those early timeouts, no matter what the score is.
Now it's good.
And we
of
see
course.
too many teams not call timeout. So I like that. I think that's an
Yeah.
attribute that I
Does
enjoy
it
from
change
Oxygen,
midstream or no?
utilizing the tools that they have to them. Obviously, there's a little bit of give and take, right? Because when you call a timeout,
I think we'll go
the
down
other team
2500
is
at
also
least for
getting
now.
that
See
same
if
amount
it
of time.
does
But
anything.
Use them if you got them. And, well, using the high gear is Pony as he slides on in. And Mata and Vic
But for
only
now, it
good for
seems
one
we
of the
hold on.
trade. So once again, it's Oxygen here on the defense. The strong side of Bind, mind you. And it looks like their strong side on Bind. 3 rounds now in a row. Weapons aren't great.
Yo, something about
Gonna get
Moose,
one
man.
back. A penny for his thoughts there. Randy Savage next up. And Moose next down. A good flash.
Caster's
and B-Dog
curse, I
will
guess.
Capitalize. And just like that, we find ourselves a 2v2 and an Incendiary still available to try and stop this. No Incendiary on the opposite side, though. So B-Dog and Dazzle, they've got to fight together here.
Shopify is good at going for those plays, trying to make it work out together, but they're expecting Mitch with the
Nice.
Spectre just dealing
Really
it
well done.
completely by himself. The Yora's gonna take care of it. And yes, you're trying to play it together, but I mean, your ultimate, the flash coming through, you're trying to dodge it.
So
So
Oxygen's
many things
now
going
won
on.
4
And
rounds in a
Oxygen, they
row,
take
huh?
the lead here on Bind.
4 rounds
That's
in a row.
crazy.
Now, that was a lesser buy. A couple of Sheriffs. I think we had 1 rifle coming into that one. Obviously, the Sheriff, just no match for the dancing Yoru. With
Mitch
the
gonna have the
Spectre.
op
But
on the
finally we'll
Yoru.
get Shopify kind of back in the driver's seat. And I want to go back to a point that you made. Well, not the driver's seat. They have rifles. That's what I'll say. I want to go back to the point that you made, right? Where
Potentially
when Shopify
getting
wanna
back
hit,
in the
Oxygen
rifles,
still have
or
lots of utility.
driver's
So
seat.
what changes do they make now? Now that they have a resurrection, they've got their rifles, they've got a bunch of utility.
The Yoru op. Please. Oxygen. I was gonna say there's no way it works out. Slow down, shot down immediately. Here is not gonna get anything done in this round. But yeah, like you said, those rifles. What is gonna make the difference here? Trying to match the pace
Oh, you know
that
what I
Oxygen is
wanted.
bringing to them is so difficult with that neon. They'll get spotted. I was actually expecting that push from Showers once again.
Yeah, there's a lot of noise being made, but before all of this, that's a great play from Shopify for only Moose to get spotted because that tells you absolutely nothing. But now we have the pit here from the defense. As Pony and Randy Savage going to play on the inside. Wall goes up. The spike should be planted. The snake bites are down, and look at the health just chipped away. Vic, happy to have the spike planted short, but he died for it.
Even last week, so many attacking rounds that we saw for Shopify, but we didn't see a lot of these post plans. It was all getting those kills, and now it turns into those post plans that they have to deal with against Oxygen. Having that Viper spit, those lineups, hoping to make the difference.
Oh no, that spike went halfway. The blast pack does good to get him off. Oh my goodness, Mata's even better. Finds 2 kills, 1 through the wall. Now the health is low.
Bring it
The hit
out.
still stands. Rockets out, and Mata's going to use everything at his disposal.
There it is.
to find a
Shopify is going to be able to
Shopify
bring
round, and that's
things
exactly
back
what they
even.
do.
That's big.
And it took so
He
much
needed that.
utility, but they get it done. Shopify
Was
right
unfortunately
up
pretty
here,
expensive.
4-4. And it was those pain shells, and that is one of the benefits, right, of having this composition. You have so many tools for the post plan, but again, we didn't see them too many times last week, and it seems like it's now a 4 scenario against Oxygen, trying to force and create a little bit of space to work with for those controllers to shine a little bit brighter.
You're
Oxygen took a gamble last round. They had with the Yoru up. They took a gamble, and it didn't work, and that's all
It
right.
was creative, for sure.
I mean, I think you could say that about everything that's happened here on Vine. This composition, creative, Mitch, once more on the same angle. This time,
I
rifle,
mean-
no op, but 5 HP, just not enough to take that swing. It only took 1 leg shot from Dazzle.
Oh,
to sit
no?
him down as an orbital strike comes through. It's going to force everybody to
Yo.
scatter like bugs, but nobody dies. It's only
He just barely
and
got
everybody
away
walks
to the
safe, Brian.
teleporter, bro. Not like this. Looks like they're gonna all go ahead and
And the
rotate
Sage is
A
gonna
though
heal,
on
so it's
that.
like nothing happened as that orbital strike. As if it never really hit them.
I don't think it got
The
anybody, did
positioning
it?
here once
I don't
again
think
for
so.
Pony. Up close, personal. Not pushing forward around this time, but expecting that rotation, and that is exactly what is going down. Oxygen having such a good read, but can they? Are they expecting Neon here? Trying to clear out, but there's no trailblazer.
He's gonna trail him here.
They're gonna run away.
30 seconds left.
Pony at the very least has all of the information, which is good. Unfortunately, he's left
They're
Randy
gonna same
Savage
execute here.
here on an
The
island.
stage wall going up. Actually, pretty aggressive position here for Vic. Still isn't able to catch anybody else. Spike gonna get planted. Pony, are they expecting him once again to be behind? Stun.
Oh.
Going for it on top, man.
Oh
No way.
no! Oh, bro, that's
Run it,
so
just-
heartbreaking.
Oh.
Oh, dude.
I mean,
That hurts
this was
so much.
an uphill battle, regardless of that teleport.
No way.
But how awful does that feel?
That is so unfortunate. It got
Why do I
two.
keep getting hitches in my stream?
Seemed like it was gonna happen again for Pony. Now moves knowing exactly. Pony gets taken down.
Are you guys seeing that, chat?
Shopify, they take the lead. I like how Bayern is turning out, right? Shopify, they're going for the beat control, but it's the same thing that we noticed last week. They have a Viper wall going A, and once you see Shopify trying to get some information, trying to play that default towards B, trying to spot one of those players, you are sure that most of the time they're gonna end up on that A site. And so Oxygen, they're playing back enough to prepare for that post plan, for that retake. It has worked out good enough, but I want to see how many times they can pull it off.
Ooh, they're still setting it to where it was set before.
That's tough. Eco round for Oxygen, and they swing out.
The little stutters, yeah.
And Mitch is the first to die.
It's like every
again,
couple's often. I don't
goes-
know why.
You know, either
But
way,
like my
you know, IGL for the
frames
team,
drop
easier
for
to do it
like
when you're dead, but obviously
5
you would like
seconds.
to be alive and not
How
be
you
played
doing,
down.
Austin?
This is one of those situations where with Scuba still alive, the round's still winnable for Oxygen, but Shopify are just all over the side here.
And the
Like,
setup
I know
changes a
that
little
there's
bit
some
more for the
audio
defense
stuff on
again,
their
where you have the neon
side.
and showers every single time. Now the only one towards this A
And
site
of course, now that I talk
that
about
Viper.
it, it's
is gonna play back,
not gonna do anything.
wait for everybody to group
Which
up,
is fine.
go for that push, and it has worked out before. But again, you have to deal with the lineups, with the slows, everything that Shopify is gonna bring to them.
They're all on that
And
backside. Need to
information
come in
garnered
here,
off of that
dude.
flash. A gap in the wall. Vic ready for this one. We'll see if Oxygen are. Relay bolts go through. Don't stun the player inside. U-Haul and Dazzle will get his one before falling. Now the wall subsides.
I don't know
Clock
why
just
my
continues to
screen
tick
went
on
black
down.
there for a
Not
minute,
whole
but
lot
that's.
you can do. Still utility. Keep the
We're not
defenders
gonna
at
ask
bay.
questions,
Inferno
chat.
next on the swing. Scuba also next up, but just as we
Oxy,
saw in rounds previous,
Oxy
he's got a
works.
rifle in his hands.
Um,
He wants to try and keep it. Unfortunately,
If
for
you're
him
still
this
around
time,
when Weevil
nobody's
comes
here.
hanging out in chat, ask Weevil how to change
And at
it.
this point, 6 rounds for Shopify. It seems like they have found the hole in that defense for Oxygen, right? Where you see that
Because I
early
know
aggressive
Weevil
push
was helping
on the
some of
B
the
side,
homies,
whether it's from Puka or from Long, from
coming
his
over
Yoru, you
for a
usually
watch
have
party
one of
from
those players
Twitch.
towards showers,
Since we don't do Twitch anymore.
and then that A main control gets a lot easier with that Viper wall that they have. So this is an execute that they attempted now twice in a row, giving them the results, giving them the lead for the side of Shopify.
Yeah,
And it
see,
seems
like
like
now
now
the
is the
stutters
point
seem
where
to be
Oxygen
gone.
is
Like I'm
looking
not
to
seeing
change
any.
things around.
Oh, see, like right now for a second,
The smoke just
Dropping
slowed them down a
frames?
little bit.
but now I'm fine. Like it's literally 5 seconds.
Oxygen, they do want to fight for this every single round. It just has not been
Yeah.
the most successful. And I guess something that we didn't mention when we take a look at this comp is they're hard
Yeah,
info.
let's
Sure,
blame
we've
the
got a
stream.
good round
I'm good
here
with that.
in terms of information.
It's their
Moose
stream,
ready
not
for the
mine.
players that are pushed up short. We'll see if the rest of Shopify are. Flash out. Information garnered.
Ooh,
That could
they're not gonna
information could be
expect
anywhere. And
Pony?
Randy Savage
Can Pony get out
picks
now?
up 2 before
Oh, he does get out now.
Pony
Nice.
finds another, and the only answered kill is across the map. Scuba dies. B-Dog, you got one more around the corner. Mitch finds that kill. Moose makes his way back into the fray. Still a 2v4, no less, for Shopify. And this is looking like an Oxygen round, which I was actually kind of coming in with a negative point on this round, that they have to fight for all of these angles because they have no way to get any
See,
kind of
'cause now I'm
information.
dropping
no Sky,
frames
no
again.
Sova, no
Yeah,
Fade,
yeah.
nothing of the sort. They have to put a body there to know whether or not Shopify are actually
But now I'm
there.
fine.
And it is often Mitch, right? The
30
one
seconds left.
playing for that early
wondering if
contact.
maybe
and
I
oftentimes
should-
being taken down because of it is just one of the risks that you have to take. But at least for Oxygen is giving them some
start
sort
the
of results with the
PC?
4 rounds that they have so far, with the lead in numbers into this one, round 11. The last one should be going down. Oxygen wants
Trying
to
to
make
think
it
if I
close. It's the
stop
same
streaming, I
thing
think I
that
can
was
change my
talking about,
settings
though.
and then go back
Every
to it,
time that
right?
you see Shopify on the attacking side, trying to get some information towards B long, or even towards Hookah,
Yeah,
they're
'cause it's
gonna
doing it
end
again
up
still.
making that rotation towards A. And Oxygen was reading it so well, playing for this exactly, for this play,
Enemy remaining.
And just managing to get the number so early on. It is the only...
I like that this game is close. I'm not gonna lie. In my predictions, I thought Shopify was gonna.
It is trying to
walk away
get
with
and
this one.
play a little bit more of that default early on, expecting that push from Oxygen, or going for that
we seem to be
A-main.
back.
And the A-main, though,
I wonder
it
if it's
is
just something going on my
effective
internet.
most of the times. The
'Cause, like,
early
it's not
first
many
blood that
frames. It's
Oxygen
only,
gets,
like-
it's just everything for them, and they can make it even here.
I say 6,000 frames, but that's what 6%. But see, there we go again.
Yeah, Oxygen, you have to give them credit. These guys are caffeined up, hydrated, and they refuse to fall asleep on the angle. That is one thing that I think we've seen in some of these rounds where Oxygen grab kills that they likely shouldn't. It was Pony pushing out Showers, finding those 2 kills onto Moose and Vic. It was Randy Savage and Pony working hand in hand there on the angle.
We'll see if it adjusts
and
at all.
Shopify just not
If it ends up
fully
getting
aware.
If anything, maybe
And
we'll wait
even
till the
some
end of the game.
misinformation, Right, Dazzle threw that flash all the way up short and thought, okay, this player probably U-Haul, and then there were 2 just around the corner. So good on Oxygen for not falling asleep
Yeah,
on the angles.
Pony's
that they
disgusting.
hold,
I remember
see
Pony snapping quite a bit
oftentimes.
during.
And now they have a chance. Shopify take time out. Oxygen also get that same amount of time, and 6-6 is still readily available for this defense.
I think they were
Especially
in
now, because
the freeze out,
you're gonna
right?
have that information with the Euro Ultimate, and you're gonna have the Rolling Thunder as well for the late
Shopify's
hits
got
that
a nice little
Shopify is
squad,
having
too.
into sites.
And Util queued up. No way. Pony does it again, man. This
That's
guy's
it.
so impressive in finding those kills. The micro flicks. And look, right, he's kind of backing away, right? He's not necessarily staying and fighting that player short. He backs away. He lets Randy Savage help him out.
And there it is. I mean, you get that support.
What up,
now you're
Moon? How you doing, buddy?
in a 3v5.
Hey,
And
Moon.
Shopify with an operator here. A Viper Spit, and it's
I know we've
so difficult to get any value, though. Randy Savage
a couple
goes down.
people
Good
with it
opportunity.
before, but do you know how to change
As the Seekers are going to be available.
like the profile name?
Seekers online. Look at Moose. Pushed all the way up
For
on
chat?
the site, trying to play through the sky smokes. Verno looked like he was queuing up a flash there for just a second. Dazzle just gets spammed through the smokes, and now the zappy fingers are back on again as Pony backs away from it all. Moose gets aggressive with the pit, and it's a shorty just on the other side. Rolling Thunder through it, but not stunned up was the Viper. But they're running out of time, Triad. They have to try and get this spike planted, and it's going to be B-Dog to do so. As he walks on up, Moose will collect another, pushing aggressive into the pit of Scuba. Now the pit will fall up in hand. It's the Opping Brim, and there's just no time, and Mitch wins the round from being on the wrong side of the map.
Open up the sky.
That's a good way to put it, Mitch. In the meantime, on the other side.
Was trying to help the homie Oxy
Trying
out.
to see if Shopify was going to go for
his
those
IRL
rotations
name,
once
their
again.
IRL name out of
And it just
Pony
goes
snapped here.
so
yeah,
well
trying to help
for Oxygen.
Oxy out over here.
I was just
get their
realizing,
IRL
we see
name
all the action,
out
we
of their
see all the
profile.
back and forth between the 2 teams.
If not, I
stopping
know
thing.
Weevil knows how.
They're
I
really
can help them.
getting away with this neon Yoru comp.
Yeah.
This is really happening.
It is. It really happening. And I don't think that this defensive side is where it was meant to make magic, right? I think they're.
I still think Shopify walks away with.
And now this
I
is
don't
where
think
we
it
really
is.
start to
It's
see
going to
this
be as big of a
painting that
blowout as I
Oxygen
thought
are
it was.
drawing
I really
for us.
thought.
And it's a whole lot of brew.
Oh, you
Brew,
don't
excuse
care
me.
much?
There's some
All right,
browns,
cool,
there's some
cool.
orange, there's some green, but
Yeah.
it's mostly blue.
I just know
here
when a couple
between
people
Mitch and
came
Pony.
over from Twitch.
And this is exactly what I wanted to see for Shopify last week. It was all attacking side.
Again, Weevil
9
was helping
rounds
them out.
lead, 11 rounds lead on the attacking side. They never really got pushed on these defensive setups, and they had so many of
6-6
them,
going into the back
including this
half.
Viper and where this Viper wall is going to be located throughout these rounds. But it is a test that they haven't had to deal with yet in challengers, and I love that Oxygen is pushing for that.
And speaking of walls, Vic flirting with the idea of putting his here inside Showers. It'll force a lot of, if not all, the push to come out towards A short. Boombot dealt with. Paint Shell's out behind it, but Pony already on the side, dashes on, and Relay Bolt right at the feet of Vic will find him dead. It's Pony to collect the first once more. Now Shopify, a player down. We'll see how many want to teleport here. Dazzle's still waiting, Dryad.
Does he get anything here, though? The guiding light. Gonna be the first one. Knows that they're there.
No way, not like this. The team is rotated, Dryad. Everybody rotated. The orb did so much. There was so much respect given from Oxygen. They were finally ready to hit. And the team had already rotated, and there was a
I just realized I don't think I ever
inside the swamp. That being Dazzle.
Oh,
that is
bam, look at that.
heartbreaking for Oxygen.
And so
Got
close
him.
early on, right? When you see Pony
Okay.
getting that first kill. A lot of potential.
Moon, I
Even
never
the
gave you
wall that we
mod, did
see
I?
for the set of
When we moved
Oxygen,
over
right?
here to
Gives them a little bit more space into that A
YouTube.
side compared to the one that Shopify were running. But still,
Oh.
it is that fast
Hold on.
pace that they're able to run and take advantage of more than Shopify is able to do themselves on the defense.
We almost gave the wrong person too much power. Sorry,
So, a good
Oxy,
opportunity
you seem
for
cool,
the
but
Stingers to actually get some value into this one.
I do want to mention that Oxygen are incredible on the strong side of the map. But when they swap to that weak side, that's where we see them start to flounder a little bit, right? Breeze, defense, struggled. Attack, pretty good. Ascent,
yeah, Moon, looks like they got it.
defense, good. Attack, struggled. And now that we're here on Bind, I would argue that defending is the strong side. Maybe not even with this comp, because it's not the most defense-heavy comp for Oxygen, or, well, for anybody, really. But this attacking side, it means everything. This could be where Shopify run away with it, and getting that pistol, it helps a whole lot.
Honestly, but
And it is one
Oxygen's
of the differences
attacking,
that we
right?
talked about in the composition for Shopify, running the Sage and trying to slow down that aggressive push that the Yoru and the Neon want to bring to them every single time. But it's just, you know, they're comfortable waiting it out. Still, you're outside of showers. They're already trying to come in.
And Pony has done that. He worked his way through the Incendiary, though, so it takes a little bit of damage. Randy Savage also on
bro.
the damage train. He's taking a bit of
I get anxious when they're all grouped up together like that.
Smokes. Players will dance, but might get to be planted as a frenzy shot goes up and over the top. Pushing forward is Randy Savage, and he is immediately dealt with, and now they know that the Stingers are here. As they spray through the smokes, it's B-Dog with a stinger of his own. Finds that kill onto Pony, but the spike's planted. Oxygen happy to have the extra credits here in this round. They would like to get a whole lot more out of it, and we'll see if they can do so. As Mitch planted firmly on top of the spike.
Shopify won both
There for the
pistols.
trade, but you can't afford the one-for-one trades any longer. As Scuba, the last one standing.
Ooh.
Shots in the back, one away to the back of the head. That there of Moose, and Shopify will scoop up their second round here in the second half. Push into a 2-round lead.
Now you gotta make sure you don't let them back
Boy.
into it the way you did in the first half here,
Retake to take place
Shopify.
inside of Shopify. We saw that triple push to make sure that Mitch would go down. There is no chance, no hope for this side of Oxygen. And those Stingers that had an opportunity, but is not there anymore, as Shopify could
I think Shopify
get
won both
away
their
with a
pistols,
big lead
or
into
most,
this one.
or most of their pistols last
some
week
bulldogs
too,
in their
right?
hands.
The Stinger Force, when you look at it,
Yeah.
It
with the
hurts.
hindsight that we have, it hurts so much.
It is honestly why we saw so many of those 3-9s last week, right? Because you're committing to it, you're making that bet that they're going to work out, and when they don't, there's more and more rounds going for the other side as
I
they
think
get
so
better
too,
weapons.
Moon. I do think second's quite wide open though. I don't think it's. I think
And it's a fight
heading
for
into the
B-Long.
season.
This time it's Shopify on the
Ooh.
defense. Stinger sprays, go back and forth, and Dazzle
Moose?
finds the first kill on the round. Fortunately, Moose doesn't have a Stinger. He's got the big brother of the Stinger, that being the Vandal. And he walks away from that fight, not only finding 2 kills, but completely unscathed. So very healthy is the Viper of Shopify. And unfortunately, you can't say the same for Oxygen.
The 2 players left here for Oxygen.
Are they playing with that update though, or are they playing on the past patch?
To
Right.
get a little bit more of that control, of that space. Can't really see anybody though.
Yeah, I mean, unbeknownst, they've been gifted the site, which could quite possibly be a spike plant as well. We'll see if
Yeah.
Shopify try to. Okay.
Okay.
Or delay.
Well.
And they do. Okay. All right.
Hey,
never
nice
mind.
score.
My bad.
Let's go.
Cast a curse in the moment.
Thanks, Tanner.
No.
Please,
Moon, I'm
don't
saying
hate me.
100%. I
Don't hate me.
think
I'm
I
just trying
think
to do my
guard
job.
is at top of the
I'm just trying
league.
to do my job.
It's
I
too
think
late
heading
for
into the
that.
preseason though,
I can change. I can change.
a lot of
I swear I can
people
change.
were thinking that like M80 was
Shopify
number
here
2,
taking a
but I
lead,
think number
9
2 is a lot
rounds
closer than people
For
think.
this defensive side, having some seekers.
Sorry, I don't think I finished that thought. But yeah, I think
potentially
guard
to
is
use
very
towards
much
B-Long,
as a whole squad
a
top
little bit
team.
more reactive and A big round for Oxygen here.
Yeah, this is the important one. The full buy, the full util. Yoru clone already used. Unfortunately, seems to no avail. Stuck in the corner outside. Hookah, as Mitch will scale his way up long. He's still got 2 defenders to worry about. Mitch has been solo mission this entire game, Dryad, it's felt.
Yeah. You get to see a little bit of the support with the smokes, but even then, it's a Yoru pretty
It'd be
much
dope
fighting
if it
alone.
did.
And the Neon gets more supported and is able to stay alive and is giving them the results. But again, this is the round that matters for the second half.
I think you're right. I think those hitches actually are on the broadcast,
Vic
not my
forced off
stream.
the angle. It's a good aftershock. And it does
Even though my
find
stream is dropping.
a slight rotation. Dazzle always going to be that anchor here on the B site. So IGL for IGL. Moose also here in the Seekers. I mean, promptly dealt with. That's not a very telling ultimate. That's a pretty telling kill, though. Mitch going down. And Mitch lurking on the wrong side of the map,
left.
as the Yoru does. It just lets Shopify know that the hit's here at A.
Shopify were already backed out of the site as they were forced to, but everybody's playing together here. B-Dog managing to get one. And it's a 1v2. Randy Savage
Those were
so low
the
here.
raises.
Time running out.
And running out of no time. Nearly at all. No time nearly at all. Another tap onto the spike. Dazzle gonna try and push forward. Randy Savage with 22 HP. He survives. He walks the line
Just
of
in
death.
time.
He doesn't get wall
And
banged.
you
He
got the
drops his
Viper's
pit. This guy is
pit.
insane with 8 rounds left in the magazine.
Wow.
Randy Savage for the eBay clutch.
Really well done.
No way. 3 kills at the end. And managing to get their round.
was crazy.
No hesitation as well to use that Viper's pit. No hesitation to get that spike.
Yeah, chat, I think after this game, I'm
be a
gonna,
delay from the push, from that sky. And again, knowing how much that round really mattered for this Oxygen side.
I don't know if I can just back
He needed
out
it,
and reset up my frame rate.
1v1, but Viper, Randy Savage,
Or
get
if
it.
I should restart
done.
my OBS. I don't know.
7 rounds here and another timeout.
They must have seen the broadcast, Dryad. They said, why are these guys putting the spotlight on Scuba? Let me have some of that. Give me some of that.
You can't say that. because
22
people are
kills
gonna
for Moose. My goodness. Madman.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, we're not actually speaking for the
can't
players.
say
We're not
that.
actually speaking for the players.
I know Moon
But
likes
it's like,
seeing
what
the,
the heck, man? Randy Savage in my DMs. That was. I mean, that was
Yeah,
an
what I'll
Oxygen
probably
play.
do is when we go to
We've
when
been
it
talking about
goes to
Pony and Randy
break,
Savage
I'm gonna
the
like
entire
full
game,
reset my
refusing to fall
PC, which
asleep
means
on
I'll
the
probably
angle.
have to set up a second stream.
And the micro
Unfortunately,
adjustments in both of their aims individually. We've seen it
it's
multiple
fine.
times from Pony, and we get it right there with Randy Savage, where he literally has to be perfect, right? 22 HP inside his own pit, doesn't matter. He has to be perfect, and he was. That's crazy.
And what are the chances, right? What are the odds of winning a round like this one if you're that Viper? They're so low, but still managing to make it happen. And I love the plays that Bind.
I wonder
able to
if
give
is
to
part
us.
of it because I'm still uploading.
And after the
My
timeout, a
upload's
little bit
done,
more
right?
aggression coming in for Oxygen. Some early hookah control, and it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
my upload to
Pony
YouTube's
goes
done.
down.
It's even done.
It does not matter at all. Immediately punished for
Processing
pushing
up to
aggressively, and with that,
HD.
Moose says, "Hey, I'm happy to lock down at least one half of the
Yeah,
B
we'll
push."
once this map is over,
Meanwhile, one half of the A push.
in between
being
maps, we'll
targeted.
restart.
Mitch's head was spotted. Mata didn't quite take the shots. A beautiful flash, but just behind the players means Scuba's eyes are clear. He wipes his eyes at the guiding light. Is able to find that frag. Aftershock's also not going to land, but B-Dog in a
I'll
precarious
just
situation
restart my
here. 4
PC,
players
though.
just on the other side, and he's going to back away and try and play with the team.
The time for that play was so good, right? It was the guiding light. Immediately, the Viper wall
bro.
going down.
Moon, I think
And
Harbor
being
is
able
gonna
to
be
spot all those players that were flash and unable to do anything
once
else.
teams figure them out. I
Trying
think
to get a
Harbor is
little
gonna
bit
be
more
low key
results
really.
from it. Doesn't
really
quite
slick.
work out. So the post plan here, best scenario for the set of Oxygen. And they have it. They have the
Yeah,
numbers.
Tweak
V
would
Dog,
definitely
though,
make
on
him
the other
nice.
side. Orbital Strike is gonna come through, but so does Scuba and's gonna use it first.
Ooh, Mitch almost finds himself a timing. Tap onto the spike. Moose will fall. B-Dog finally getting some value of his own. His orbital strike comes through. They just took care of everybody, but do they have the time? It's going to come down to that. No, they don't. Oxygen have managed to hang on in this round, and they'll find an 8 through the spike blowing.
Yeah. He doesn't
Good
like
round,
bring
and
you
it was all
enough,
about the
right?
timing, you know. The orbital strike had already been invested, and it was a time to push through those smokes. instead of Oxygen.
I think it definitely depends on like what kind of composition like the rest of your
but
team's
still
running.
managing to get round after round, and once again those timeouts, the adaptation, they're
And
not
I think that's the other problem
thinking it
is
twice.
how
you're
often
going
are
for
you
that full
wanting to
commitment,
lock
you're going
in
for those timeouts and
double
knowing that
controller.
some value will come out of it for Shopify. To be in this situation, right? Is this what we were expecting? A bind to be this close?
Yeah, this is, Shopify grabbing this map. They look good on it. But Oxygen just keep doing stuff like this, Pony. He can't keep getting away with it.
Oh, completely alone here, taking full control of the site. Yoha as well, nobody to be seen, and out of nowhere. And once again, numbers disadvantage for Shopify to work with, as now they have to clear and re-clear all of those angles to make it back. This is not what Shopify was expecting, and is a tempo that you have to deal with. It is reminding me so much of the match that we saw last week with the guard against this guy, where they had to constantly adapt, though they're the favorite team. On Bind, you never really know what to expect in terms of the aggression that the enemy team is bringing to you, and it takes a couple rounds to get that full understanding from those IGLs, from those coaches. So it does seem like
I also don't think Harbor is going to be one of those like every map characters
trying
either.
To keep up with that aggression, with that pace that Oxygen is bringing.
I think we saw him getting brought out a little bit.
What
Was it on Breeze during the freeze out? He seemed to be somewhat efficient.
And I'm wondering if this is where we get
Was it
the
Breeze?
second time out for Shopify, right? If they do want to try and figure out a way. There's a lot of things that you could say about that round specifically, and kind of the way. What are the tools, right, to slow down the Neon? You mentioned it already. Obviously, you have flashes and you have the Trailblazer from Dazzle, but the slow and the wall.
Yeah.
Those is tied up at 9-9.
Do good to kind of 50-50 where the Sage is playing. I mean, in Pony, it's like a playground on the site that the Sage is now. We're seeing it again. It's only Dazzle here inside the Sky Smoke.
And it is constantly that gamble, right, for where that Sage was going to get utilized first, and sometimes it doesn't quite work out the way that Shopify is expecting, and the read. I mean, sometimes it doesn't even matter because they put the wall up right away, and then it goes down, and then you see the aggression for Oxygen, right? So you're not scared to wait those extra seconds for it to go down.
Good. Beautiful flash here. The rocket behind it, and oh my god, the slaughter.
Wow.
For the investor. Flawless. Shopify, they were not happy with what we were saying about Oxygen, and they steal back the lead.
They for real just made a statement.
There it is. That is the Shopify that we've been wanting to see, right? That clean coordination, shutting down Oxygen one by one. Each one of those players with no chance to get anything done into the B site. And a quick reposition as well for Shopify to be able to get away.
Top
with
3,
that
you mean
round.
in
Good
challengers
job.
or in their bracket?
How many times can they do a play like this one to continue having that lead?
Top
Double
4
digits
go
now for
to
the defense.
the event between splits, right? I think.
Almost some extra value out of that clone. Oh, and great value out of the wall here from Shopify. They push all the way behind it. And they find Randy Savage down to 22 HP. Still alive, so his util will still be utilized here in this round. But he has to stay so far away from the fight. Mitch tossed out the first flash. That's actually going to force him off the side here. They don't even want to dance with the devil here in Yoru.
Yeah,
comes out of that
top 4
dimensional drift. And the spite has been completely assumed.
Really?
I don't really think this is a problem though for Shopify. They were
statement.
already backing up anyway, so that ultimate is only going to make it happen a little bit faster for the 5v5 retake. Good opportunity for Shopify once again. They get the first one, and the Rolling Thunder comes in next. Trying to fight it back, but again, it's all about Shopify. Randy Savage, Mitch, the last one's alive
I mean, I guess that's fair. Shopify is kind of seen as a top contender behind.
He's back up to 22 now.
Guard and M80.
No way, Randy Savage.
I think some people would say G2. I think Shopify's up there, and you can see they're hanging with them. That's fair.
On the 2 players trying to hold on, and this time there's plenty of time for Shopify to find the defuse. But how scary of a round!
It seems like it came down to the first pick, right? It's a 5v5. everybody was ready for Shopify to get that push going down, and
I think
Pony
that
was
middle
the
of
first
the
one
pack
down, the one that was hoping to get 1 or 2
is going
as
to
he
be
has
very,
been doing
very
constantly.
tight. Like that
when that
3
wasn't a
through
chance,
like
it seems like
6.
the positioning
in
here got
challengers.
a lot more difficult for Oxygen, and he got close. Randy, out of nowhere, right? Where it seems like he shouldn't be able to get those picks. He's making it close, but still, a Shopify getting to 11. And it seems like finally finding an answer against Oxygen.
Yeah, but I guess that's the thing, right? Is if you can win the Stingers, and if you're also winning your pistol, you're going into the third round.
This time the Neon
huge
and the rest of the team for
advantage, just not
Oxygen
so
met by
much.
that Sage wall.
So I do think that's a fair critique
There won't
on
just be
Oxygen,
Dazzle here, all on his lonesome. Although he's very
especially
proficient,
when you look at
he
a
likes
team
to be
who.
Vic here to help him out. Keep
Well,
him
didn't
company,
Oxygen?
and
Yeah,
find that
they
first kill
lost
onto
their
Mitch, who once
last week. They
more
lost
is one of the first ones
both
dead
games
in the round for
14-12,
Oxygen.
or both maps
This
14-12.
usually spells disaster, but Scuba's still alive. We know the numbers are good.
Like they're right
This
there.
Brimstone still on the board. We'll see if that comes to fruition at all. Sky smokes are down. Pony back sight. Vic just a little bit better than the Stinger. Oh my
Vic?
goodness. All right, Scuba gone 2, making a
He's
fourth, and
disgusting.
somebody give this guy the ace. It's only Randy Savage. We know Randy Savage is here to deny Dryad.
And Vic did so good last week. You can only expect him to get better and better. 4 kills already.
Oh!
Almost
Oh.
the A's, but still gonna be the flawless
Bro.
and Mr. Flawless coming through. Do get to 12 for Shopify, and again,
You
it
really
seems like
stole
they
it.
had the read.
You stole
And
it.
it was a thing that Shopify was always good at, right? Having so many of those defensive setups where sometimes we see that Sage wall being used early on, we see those constant rotations, and even the changing composition that we already talked about. They're always ready to adapt to the enemy, and it seems like even though it took them those 6 early rounds on the attacking side, they know exactly
Yo,
what
chat,
to
I
do
know
now.
we watched like ALGS all last weekend,
Greg,
but
you're
I
ignoring the LP
really
room.
love watching
From
Valorant.
B-Dog to Brim
like
Dog
so
to
much.
Bad Dog, he stole the ace.
You're right. Actually, that was the main thing.
All of that stuff that you
Unbelievable.
said aside, he stole the ace. But no, this is okay. Well, that's a good start. I'm gonna hold this thought because we're just hyping up Shopify and saying this is the experienced team. They're finding ways to beat this Oxygen squad. They're finding ways to not get kind of run over by the
Right, but I mean,
the
I guess I'm
brain
saying because you're
scramble
not
that is
usually going to
a
be full
Yoru
buying
and a
up your
Neon
second
on
round,
buying.
right?
They really have
So the gun
managed to make
difference
these
is in that,
adaptations.
as
Now
you
they have to
said.
do it a player down, or else Oxygen are going to find double digits. And
Oh!
fortunately, Vic,
Okay.
6 kills in the last 2 rounds, picks up right where he left off.
Yo, if Vic would have been
And at
able
the
to
end
get
of
that
the day,
third.
We're under a minute, and we're equalized. And Pony also erased a huge win condition for Oxygen.
But look at those angles, right? Look at those duels. Shopify position everybody so well to make sure that they have the numbers at the end of the day. It's a 3v2. As Oxygen already having that entry to be
One enemy remaining.
so clean.
Defenders win.
Very,
All right,
very
9:13.
clean. We close the curtain
All right,
here
chat.
on map 1.
I'm gonna
Shopify,
restart
they
my
reel it in, and it was a
PC
bit
here real
closer than I
quick.
think we were
Try
expecting
and
on
see
their
if
last pick.
it gets rid of some of
But at the end
our
of this
frames
one, it
issues. I'll
was
be right back.
all
Love you guys.
Shopify. And even in this last round, it looks like Oxygen are kind of just throwing caution to the wind. How did you feel about